terrible thing you did as a child that you feel really bad about as an adult?
Hey yo, so one time back in the 8th grade, me and my friends were all play wrestling, and I got a little carried away and performed a wrestling move on one of my friends. Now, at the time, he was a lot smaller than us, like he was shorter and skinnier than us. So after I performed the move on him, he was visibly in pain. And I remember, like as young boys, like we're all trying to like comfort him, let him know he's gonna be okay. I'm apologizing, letting him know that like I didn't mean to hurt him. Please don't tell on me. The next day, he didn't show up to school because his back was hurting. And then I get called to the principal's office, and I'm not thinking much of it because, I'm just like, he didn't tell on me. He kept his word. I go into the principal's office, and as I glance at her computer, I see the Wikipedia page for the wrestling move that I performed. And if you're wondering what the move was the pedigree. So I knew I was toast. Hey, yo. So before I continue on with the story, here's a quick recap. So back in the 8th grade, me and my friends were play wrestling, and I got carried away and performed a wrestling move called the pedigree on one of my friends, and he didn't show up to school the next day because his back was hurting. Then I got called to the principal's office, and as I walked into her office and looked at her computer screen, I noticed that she had the Wikipedia page for the pedigree open. So now here's the rest of the story. So when I sat down across from my principal, she started asking me about the wrestling move, the pedigree. And I told her about it. She asked me who performed the move, which wrestler it belonged to. I told her Triple H. Then she started to like lecture me about, how these wrestling programs tell you not to perform these moves at home. Wrestling is fake, yada, 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 all that stuff. She then continued to tell me that like the kid who I performed the wrestling move on didn't directly tell the principal on me. What happened was he told his parents, and his parents called the school, and thus I get called to the principal's office because of it. She then told me that the school and the parents were not going to file a police report or press charges on me. Now, as you're watching this right now, you're probably wondering, just as I did back then, was this really that serious that it warranted police intervention? Well, I mean, given the countless amount of stories about kids performing wrestling moves on other kids and a lot of them resulting in death, yeah, it seemed kind of serious. So here's where this situation took an unexpected turn. Given the fact that this was my 8th grade year, my graduating year, and I was in the middle of, at the time, my application process for the high school I would end up going to, my principal didn't want anything to really jeopardize that. And given the fact that I had like suspension priors from like the year before, my principal was all but done with severe punishments for me. So basically what ended up happening was I had to assist my principal on a special project that involved sending school supplies to kids in Africa. The punishment in this case was me missing out on my recesses just to assist my principal on this project. Many of you watching probably don't believe that that actually was my punishment, but I really wish that I had like concrete proof to show you that that's actually what happened. In this situation, I got a lot of lucky breaks between the boys' parents not taking any kind of action towards me, between the school actually not taking any kind of action towards me, and my principal actually having me do something really good as punishment, even to the boy forgiving me and knowing that I was sincere in my apology and not wanting to hurt him. Because if I had done the move wrong,